This look is cut with a razor. It's a nice short little bob that has a very undone type of a look to it. The layers are soft, they move, you don't see any hard lines anywhere, and it's a very current wearable style. So we've sectioned the hair off at the recession area into a horseshoe shaped parting. So that gives us our underneath and our top. What I'm going to do now is start in the back with a center parting. And then I'm going to take two diagonal sections to create a triangle section in the nape area. So I'm going to be working in this triangle section here. I'm going to be cutting her hair with the razor. So I'm working with my Zambia razor. I'm going in. I'm going to take a large section and I'm going to be cutting pretty much large sections throughout the cut because I want to create a chunkiness or a texture to the look. So I'm going to go in at about this length and I'm going to cut a vertical line. So that's going to give me a nape area that's sitting in closer like that. And then from there, what I'm going to do is take steep diagonal sections. And this is going to build a little bit of length and weight as we move towards the front of the head. Bringing that back into my section and just following our guide. Steep diagonals. And then I'm over directing, not all the way back to the center every time. I'm coming around the side of the head a little bit. So I'm here, and I'm going to over direct to here rather than to the center back. So that way we're not building up so much length and weight so fast, and keeping it nice and light. As I come through the side, I'm going to keep working with the same type of section because I'm not worried here about it getting too broken up on the bottom. We kind of want it to be not too solid. So each time, just over directing back to the previous section. There's my guide. And then we just follow our line. Now what I'm going to do is focus on the perimeter. And I want it to be very undone looking, but still maintain a length that's sitting about here so that when this gets tucked behind the ear, it's sitting up a little bit higher than it is now. So here we go. I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of surface cutting with the razor and just start to bring that perimeter up. Now I'm going to go through and take weight out of here because this particular head of hair is pretty dense, and I'm just going to go in and take little bits out here and there just to soften it out. As we get into these bigger sections, we can take and weave our razor through, and then I'm just turning that blade towards the center back and just tapering that out. So we keep the length here, but we take some of the weight out behind it. A hot tip here is to make sure that you're leaving your surface alone. So by coming in with the blade this way, my surface is going to stay right where it is now, and then the hair that's behind my razor is what's getting cut away. So we keep our surface and we keep our perimeter intact. Now I'm going to go into the top, and I want to take a lot of weight out. Her existing length is pretty close to what we need it to be. We just want to go a little shorter here in the back. So I'm going in, and then I'm going to close when I get to my fingers. So going in, moving the blade slightly, and then close when I get to my fingers. So what I'm doing there is I'm creating the texture and the length at the same time. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to over direct this second section back to the first. So I'm going to stand on this side of the section. I'm going to slide past that first section, work my way up, and close the scissors. So again, we're creating the texture and the length at the same time, which saves time, is always a good thing in the salon, right? And we're also getting our hair, the lengths longer towards the front by over directing back to each previous section. Okay, and that doesn't reach. So let's drop this over now and see what we've got. Now it's pretty much going to be worn over towards one side most of the time. So we're going to take some of those bits that are hanging over and we're going to blend them in with our razor. And you can see here on this side where we've got some length spilling over here, right over what we've done underneath. We're going to leave that. Comb this down and connect it in with our bottom. So I'm just continuing this line with my razor, leaving out what we have here in the front. This side here, what I want to do is just open up a little bit more around her face. So I'm just going to take the razor and I'm going to do just that. I'm just going to open it up by going in at about the cheekbone and just taking the edge off, or the corner off that was in the front there. So what I'm going to do now is just go through and I'm going to put some choppy bits in there so we get our nice soft razored ends mixed in with some chunky pieces. So I'm going to use silk modifier because I want to work with her natural movement that she has in there. So I'm taking about that much. It's a nice moisturizing foam, but it does have hold and it gives the hair a little bit of body. So I'm just working it in. And then we're going to diffuse so it has more of a natural finish like this. So here's the finished look. You can see how it's got a nice natural movement to it with the curl. The silk modifier gives it just enough hold and separation. And then through the back you can really see the shape we created using the diagonal partings all the way around and then our horizontal sections on the side. So we end up with a nice look that's modern and fresh, uses the natural texture, and it has a very current vibe to it.